Hello and welcome to the Meeting Your Soul podcast. I'm Farah, your host, and as always, thank you so much for being here. You have no idea how much it means to me to be able to connect with all of you, to be able to share the experiences that I'm going through, to hopefully be able to aid you on your own personal journey of self-discovery, to be able to tap into yourness and be able to live more fully in all that you do. I'm working on a coaching program right now. It's called Shine Brightly, and I am ecstatic about sharing it with all of you. It's really delving into that body connection, body awareness, recognizing limiting beliefs, dissecting those, bringing those to the surface, and then hopefully being able to allow yourself to connect deeper to your intuition and to who you've always been, to be able to live that and day out, so that you're able to live more fully and authentically and hopefully without anxieties or stress. The mental health is really an epidemic right now. It's an issue that's affecting thousands of people, and the amount of depression, suicide, anxiety, and just really struggling to operate in a more easeful way in anything that we do is terrifying, to be perfectly honest. I've been in the mental health field for my entire career. It's always been a big part of who I am and something that I'm passionate about. And to be able to offer this program is hopefully my way to be able to assist people that are struggling with this, to be able to give them tools and embodiment practices, to be able to ease anxiety, to be able to recognize a limiting belief when it comes up within their minds, to be able to shift that, and then ultimately to connect deeper into their spirit, into who they truly are, so that you can feel the wealth and that well of love that resides within you. So if you're curious about it, check out my website. It's called Shine Bright Program, because I want you to shine bright in all that you do. Sorry, I'm like being so cheesy about it. But, well, one, I absolutely fucking love Rihanna. And Shine Bright Like a Diamond is like one of my favorite things. And it's just really great philosophy to really think about what it's like to be a light, to let that be the reflection that shares within the world around you. Like the power of that and the magnitude of how that can then create a ripple effect within your entire life is something I've experienced firsthand, and it's changed the way that I operate. It's changed the way that I engage with others. It's changed everything, literally. So I want to be able to give that gift to others, to do the same, and hopefully be able to lift up this entire consciousness. You know, man, we're all just doing the damn thing. We're just out here. We out here, and it is not easy. And it is not easy. It's not easy to do this and to do this work. So I'm offering 3 coaching sessions to go along with it, to be able to identify what's holding you back, to be able to go a little bit deeper, and to hopefully be able to move you in the direction towards your Dharma, towards your purpose as well. And then that goes into my 3-month Dharma coaching program, which I also offer and is available to all of you as well. So if you want to learn more about that, check out my website. But let's get into the episode. I want to go ahead and jump in. Today, I wanted to talk about really the power of owning your worth and being able to articulate your value in everything that you do. And as you might imagine, I'm creating this coaching program. I'm thinking about it, but I'm going to keep it so 100, you guys. I have so many like little random insecurities that have come up. Like, can I really do this? Is this really something that I am like, what is the word, qualified to do? You know, like, am I enough? Do I have the experience? Do I have the knowledge? Like, and I know that I do. That's the thing. I have literally 10 years of coaching, like counseling experience. I have a degree in psychology. I've gone through an actual coaching program with successful coaches that are, you know, some of the top in the entire world. Like I have like an intuition that is so spot on. I was just like, I don't know, I keep saying literally, but I was at the market the other day, and this guy, I saw him, and it was totally, this is like an intuition call, but I was walking by and he was like, how you doing today? And he said it to someone else, but they like walked right past him, ignored him, and you can tell it like crushed him. Like I saw the look in his face, and I was like, I'm doing good, how are you? And like he looked at me, he goes, oh, I was saying that, and I was like, I know. And he just like kind of smiled at me, and I was like, how are you? And then I was like, I know, I saw it. I just wanted you to know I heard you. So yeah. And I started walking me. He's like, well, how is your day? Like, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. I was like, how about you? I was like, I'm just here with some friends. I was at Pike Place. And so like, I never go to Pike Place. And I was there with a friend that's from the East Coast. And so I was like, we're just exploring out, kind of doing little tourist things today for my friend. And he was like, oh, he's like, it's been pretty shitty because I haven't sold any fish today. And I was like, oh, okay. So then so he starts talking about some struggles that he's experiencing at work. And then I'm like, oh, well, what are some ways that you can overcome this? Like, what is this really, this obstacle? What is it really trying to show you? And like, how can you grow from it? And so we start talking about that. And he's like, well, I guess I could do that. And maybe that really is why this is happening. And like, he was like, that's so crazy, think about it. That's kind of changes my perspective. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, you know, sometimes things are difficult for us for a reason, and we have a choice. And, you know, I think the choices now is if you want to recoil and like dim, or if you want to get bigger, if you want to push those limits and be able to take yourself to that next level. And I think you can take yourself to the next level. And I hope you can too. I hope you believe that too. And he was like, you could tell like this light bulb went off within him, and he was like, oh my God. And he was like, who are you? Like, what do you do? Like, what? And I was like, well, I am actually a coach. So like, that is very much a part of my life. And then he was like, wow. He's like, you just really made a difference in my day. And like right afterwards, this person started, they're like, hey, I want to buy a fish. Like, I'm hoping to get something. And he was like, looked at me and he was like, what? And I was like, you got this. I was like, go get him. And then the next time I walked by, he was talking to like a few other people and was like crushing it, killing the game. And I told my girlfriend that I did it, and she was like, Farah, look, you being you is just so great. And I think that that's so come full circle. One, I'm naturally good at this. This is something that I really is powerful within my life and is truly a gift. And I feel like it is God destined me to be able to have the tools and experience that I know now to be able to serve in this way, truly. And but it's hard to not let those like insecurities bubble up to the surface, you know, and like teaching myself how to, you know, decrease the volume of them, to be able to recognize them, to be able to see them is something I'm, you know, have learned how to do over time, but has not always come naturally to me. And I think that for those of you that are kind of recognizing what your worth is and being able to honor that, like, I think first and foremost, like, take a step back and like see the truth of what's coming up for you. Like, I think sometimes people are like, oh, just fake it till you make it. Don't believe that. Like, you're good enough. Like, just keep telling yourself that. Well, hate to break it to you, but if you just keep doing that, it's probably not going to get to the root cause of what's really causing those thoughts. Period. So like, get to the root of it. Why don't you think you're enough? Why are you struggling with this? What are your insecurities? Let them come to the surface. Be with them. See them, hear them, feel them. Like, that's the only way you're going to move past them. You can't keep pushing something away and expect for it just to disappear. It's not going to disappear. I can tell you that right now. So like, write it out. So what I had to do was like really to write down, like, what are my insecurities? Like, what is coming up to the surface? Why am I so fearful about this? What is the fear that I truly have about it? And then be able to like, okay, well, that's worst case scenario. What's best case scenario? So then I wrote out best case scenario, and I wrote out all the things, like the positive impact that I can make, the difference that I can make within people's lives, sharing my gift to be able to like have a career that I feel really passionate about and that I feel like is in alignment with who I am meant to be. Living my purpose. Like, there was such a longer list for the pros of it that was like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm gonna go do it then. And I think that, you know, like honoring whatever comes up for you is first and foremost what's most important. But then like having affirmations from there, that positive self-talk, like having positive self-talk. I was just listening to this neurologist. I was listening to like I was like chatting with CEOs or something like that. Oh gosh, what's it called? I feel bad just because I want to be able to like mention this. The Diary of a CEO. Oh man, I'm gonna look in my like most recent watched videos on YouTube, just because I know that will be it'll be there, and it really was like. Oh wait, here we go. What was the most? Hold on, it's like Selena videos, Kanye videos of him just like talking. And random shit. Damn, where is this at? I know I just okay, who do I subscribe to? That's like the next thing that I can look up, because I've been like following this guy for a while, and he actually does a really good job, and I love his conversations and everything that he offers. Definitely another podcast to listen to if you are interested. But he had this, I'll skip to the point, but he had this neurologist on the show named Tara Watt, and she was so freaking good. Honestly, she was so incredible. I loved everything that she had to say. I started following her afterwards, and she was just so smart. And I was just like, I just couldn't believe like her ability to share kind of what she was like thinking, and like the power of our thoughts and what it, the impact that it has. Okay, here we go. The Diary of a CEO. There you go. That's why I was like, hold on, something about a CEO, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. So The Diary of a CEO, and it is really good. It's Stephen Bartlett. He's also a great host, so if you're curious about this one. And then this particular episode was all about just really recognizing thought patterns, and also just the beautiful nature of our brain chemistry and how that plays a part in who we are. And like, one thing that I really loved about what Dr. Tara was saying was that she was like, positive self-talk, like you are strengthening the neural pathways within your mind to be able to, I was going to note the specific episode, but I can't find it, but that you can deepen the grooves within your brain and the pathways that you strengthen. So if you think something about yourself and you continuously repeat it in your head, as we know, we think 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those repeat. So which ones are you reinforcing? Which ones are you strengthening? Are they thoughts about yourself that you are powerful, that you're strong, that you can accomplish anything that you want to? Or are there ones that are tearing you apart, that are telling you all the self-deprecating thoughts, telling you why you're not enough or why you can't do what you feel like you believe you're meant to? Or all the obstacles that are going to inevitably come into your path that's going to hinder you from being able to achieve whatever success you have in mind or in sight? And I think that, you know, my dad always says this, and I am like a big believer in this, it's like you can focus on the problem or you can focus on the solution. And I think within our lives, it's so easy for us to get distracted with all the things that could go wrong that we often lose sight of what we actually want to occur. And that's the same with our thoughts. If we're constantly worried about what we're not doing well or what's like, you know, our faults, our flaws, we're then losing sight of our strengths and the things that we're actually really great at. And when we are able to shift focus, like that's, and like how we treat ourselves is how we inevitably treat others. So if you're constantly worried about the things that people are doing wrong or the flaws that they have, or maybe their shortcomings, like you're probably not really noticing the strengths and the things that they're doing really well. And that's, again, going to go hand in hand with how you treat yourself, how you treat others, and then that ripple effect and how that affects everyone around you. And if you're constantly tearing yourself apart, how can you then really honor your worth? How can you really see your value and what you have to bring to the world and bring to the table if you're constantly thinking about the things that maybe aren't the greatest characteristics, you know? And like once we lean into that inner confidence, that inner dialogue that we have within ourselves, when we recognize our truth and we're able to share that with confidence, and then also recognize that we're contributing to whatever environment we're in, if it's within a friend group, if it's within the workplace, what have you, like those are those options where then we can cultivate more confidence, we can cultivate more worth, self-worth, is because then we're contributing towards a greater cause. We're helping the collective, we're serving, we're creating a stronger environment for ourselves, for our company, for our friend group, for our families. Like that's how then we continue to cultivate our strength and our self-esteem. And self-esteem is something that I've constantly struggled with my entire life, like my entire life. I'm also a Cancer. If anyone's familiar with astrology, Cancers are the most insecure signs. Like they're the ones that are constantly catastrophizing, they're extremely emotional, they're the ones that are always taking things personally and defensively. And let me just tell you, there is truth in that. There is a whole lot of truth, because that is really how I used to operate within my life. I would always think people were trying to like passive aggressively say something to me. And if they did say something, or if like it was like flat out, I would like immediately, like what? Either I would come back real hot, or I would then recluse and like remove myself and withdraw. And so recognizing that how other people see me is not necessarily how I need to see myself has always been something that has been a struggle for me as well. And I've talked about that in other pods. But all of this is to come to say that this has not come naturally for me to find my self-worth. Like, to feel confident and to be secure within who I am has not been an easy process, to say the least. And it's one that I've had people tear me down, people really close to me tear me down. And I had to literally neglect that relationship in order to step more into my worth. And the moment that I stepped into, but it took me like achieving goals. It was me setting things, being able to do things I never dreamed possible. Like, yoga was a huge confidence builder for me. Like, when I got so strong, when I had it as also like a method of dealing with stress, getting out of my thoughts, identifying thought patterns that I was like using, especially negative thought patterns about myself. I was able to identify them, to replace them with more positive ones. I was also able to go to class and like relieve anxiety and like built up energy that I had within me. And then I also was able to like do postures that I was like, holy shit, I never thought I would do this. This is like so difficult or so challenging, and like, or I felt more flexible or more at ease. Like, finding peace within myself is like literally the greatest gift that I ever gave myself. And the only way I was able to access that was by turning off my brain and like being able to lean into presence. And so like, this is a full circle moment for me, because now I'm able to help others achieve that within my coaching program. So this is all like, I'm bringing this all up because I was like worried about like if I could really put together something like this, if this was really something of value. And I'm now at a point where I'm like, no, like I can see this because this has made such a huge impact on my own life. Like, to be able to walk into a room and not constantly worry about what everyone else is thinking about me, and knowing no matter what anyone is thinking about me, I get to depict what I want to take with me, what I want to carry with me, and what I'm just going to leave for them to have for themselves. And I think also like that self-fulfilling prophecy, if you're leaning into confidence when you're assuming the best in others, then that's like what you're going to strengthen, the neural pathways that you're going to continue to build upon, right? So like, knowing that you are enough as you are, that you are, and your greatest asset is being who you are. Only you have your unique set of experiences, of knowledge, of skills, of gifts. And like, more that you lean into those, like the more that you can then like share that personal dharma, your truth, with the world. And that is value enough. Like, I used to always think like, oh, like, what am I working towards? What's the goal? What's that thing that I'm going to check off my list? What am I going to accomplish next? What am I going to set forth? And I think setting goals and achieving them is really important. Like I said, that is a great way to build inner confidence. But at the same time, like, me just being me just having the presence and owning that 110% is a gift all in its own too. Like, to me, for me to talk to people, to me be able to share and laugh and connect with others is one of my gifts. And it's something that is incredibly important. And the more that I lean into my own authenticity, the more that I give permission for everyone else around me to do the same. Again, it's a gift. So like, me like leaning into my more feminine nature, me being able to cultivate a sense of worth within who I am as I am today, and just simply as for me being me, is how I lean into my self-worth, how I lean into confidence, how I then can share with others. I don't need to like do anything. Like that alone was such like a major paradigm shift for me. Like, I don't need to be anyone other than who I am in order to contribute positively to my environment and the people's lives that I'm in. I don't need to make them all their meals for them to see my value. I don't need to like go out of my way to pay for everything or to drive everyone around or do all of these things for them to think that I'm a good friend. Like, I just need to be myself. I just need to be me. And I just need to like love on people in my unique way, to see them, to smile with them, to listen to them, to like be with them. And presence alone is like honestly the most precious thing that we can offer anybody within our lives. Like, they say kids, like, all they really want is time. Like, I was hanging out with my daughter this last weekend. I don't know why this is gonna make me emotional, but I was hanging out with my daughter last weekend, and like, I always try to plan something special for our days together, our Saturdays together. And I was like, I wasn't feeling well though, so I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to do what I thought I was gonna do, but let's do some fun things around the house. Like, it was pouring rain too. And so then we made cookies, and she just said she wanted to make biscuits for breakfast. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And like, so we made biscuits, and then we made cookies later, and we like watched a couple of movies and like laughed and played and like read books, like nothing extraordinary to say the least. And she like, we got into bed that night, and she looked at me and she goes, Mommy, today was the best day. Like, today was like the best day ever. And I was like, oh honey, like what made it so great, you know? And I'm thinking, and then she's like, well, we woke up and we gotta like play, and you made biscuits for me for breakfast, and I really wanted a biscuit, and you made them for me. Like, I heard her, I listened to her, and I like did something that she really wanted. And like, and then we made cookies and we laughed. Like, I really love like playing and like laughing with you. And I was like, it's so like, all she wanted was just to spend time with her mom. Like, I didn't need to take her to the zoo. I didn't need to like give her a gift. I didn't need to do anything. Like, that was enough for her. And I don't know why this is making me so emotional, but like, sometimes all we need to do is just be ourselves. And I hope that you see that within your life, and also just try to find ways in how you can exercise that and honor that. Like, who you are in the presence and the conversations and the way that you can just be with someone is truly you're one of your greatest assets. And that's it. So thank you for listening. I mean, I cry. You guys, I cry in like every episode. It's so silly, but it's me. Well, would we expect anything less? No, you shouldn't. But I hope this has been useful for you. I hope that you take time to consider all of what you have to offer the world in ways that make you unique, and like things that are just your natural gifts, and like how you can share those with others, if that's making people laugh, or if it's like by sharing knowledge of things you've researched, or by being a nurturer, by taking care of someone, by, you know, and it's just like things that just feel very innate to you. And that alone is all that you really need to do within the world, because that's exactly what you were designed to share. And I'm just so grateful to be able to recognize that about myself, and to be able to recognize that that is where my worth really stems from, is by me being me, by me seeing those qualities within myself and then mirroring them into the world around me and to the people that are surrounding me in a loving way. And I think that that's how we exude love, you know, is to look someone in the eye and to hold space for them and to just be there with them. And like, even when I was a peer-to-peer helpline counselor, like, people really just wanted me to listen. They just wanted me to hold space in a non-judgmental way. And like, that alone was like leaps and bounds of what they were seeking, why they were calling it an anonymous helpline. Like, think about the power if you're able to do that for yourself, and also then to do that with others. Like, it doesn't take a lot, but it can be something that you can offer. And recognizing your own worth is one of the most important steps that you can take within your life. Like, to be able to only be in relationships with people that honor that worth, to only be surrounded by friendships that only honor that worth, for you to be in career pathways and jobs and positions where the people around you recognize and see that within you. And that's not to say that's always going to be a guarantee. That's not going to say that's not always perfect. And everyone has flaws. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to have their moments. But like, when you have people that are cheering you on, that see you, that want you to be even bigger and better and greater, like, that's where we grow. That's where we really start to flourish as a community and as a collective. And I really hope that you find those people that surround you that are able to help remind you of that. But I think the first step is recognizing it within yourself, and also understanding who you are, going on that self-discovery journey, recognizing all of the light and darkness within you, which is episode 3 if you're interested in doing a couple of different shadow work exercises. And then being able to then move forward from that space of integration, of completeness. And that is where we really lean into the fullness, the full brilliance of who we are. And then we just continue to shine. Let's shine together. Let's shine bright. All right, that's all I got. I love you. Thank you for listening. If you're interested in learning more about my program, go to www.coachingwithfarah.com, Shine Bright program. or, slide into my DMs on Instagram at Ferrachino, Ferrachino, or you can check me out on Pinterest, YouTube, all the things. I'm there, and I hope to connect with you again soon. Peace out.